Hi everyone, this is the lesson for Lightwaves 2.5. This video is really for if you missed class or you missed part of class or you are doing this at a later time, something like that. I'm going to run through the lesson and then go through the activity. So the first part, I want you to pause to complete this do now. This will help you with the rest of the unit. So if you missed class, I suggest opening the Lightwave simulation to complete these few steps and see what did you observe about the energy from the UV light when melanin was blocking the genetic material. So this is what you should have seen. When there's melanin in front of the genetic material, there's no change to the genetic material or the DNA. And when there is no melanin blocking it, you can see here that the genetic material gets damaged, which we do know can lead to skin cancer in our skin cells. Okay, so nearly everyone on Earth has melanin in their eyes, hair, and skin cells, and the variation in amount of melanin causes wide variation in eyes, hair, and skin color among people. So the more melanin in your skin you have, the darker your skin color, the lighter your skin color will be. So take a second, pause the video to read this over. We're going to be looking at Australia and Brazil to see why Australia's skin cancer rate is higher than Brazil, even though Brazil receives the same amount of sunlight per year. And again, we're focusing on Brazil and Australia because they get the same amount of sun per year, but they do have different rates. So we can see here they're both in this orange, so they both get the same amount per year, but they do have different skin cancer rates. So the first thing that you're going to look at is the percentage of population with each melanin level. So the melanin levels are very low, low, high, and hot, very high. So take a look at the populations and you can compare them between Brazil and Australia. Remembering that melanin does protect our skin, our DNA, and our skin cells from getting damaged. Okay, so maybe pause the video right now and think about this question. And this is a new map that we haven't seen yet, and this is the World UV Light Map. So look, and these whiter areas get little amounts of UV light, and the yellow gets the most amount of UV light. So look at Australia, look at Brazil, maybe pause the video to look at this for a second. Okay, so we know that the amount of UV light Australia receives and the larger percentage of people with low melanin in their skin cells can explain why skin cancer rate in Australia is so high. So when we look, when we look at this, Australia is mostly in this yellow, which is very high, whereas Brazil is more in these reddish pink. So Australia gets more UV light, which now we know. When we come back here, UV light causes genetic material to become damaged. Melanin can protect that. There is more. People in Australia have lower levels of melanin in their skins than Brazil. So if we think back to this question of why is Australia's skin cancer rate so high, we did say claim 1 was not true. We eliminated it already. So we're going to take a look at claim 2 and claim 3. There's something different about the sunlight in Australia, which would be related to this map. Or claim 3 says more people in Australia have skin that is easily damaged by light from the sun, which we can see here, which is true also from these those two pieces of evidence. So for today's lesson, which you do have 2 days to complete, is you are going to write a claim that supports one or both of these claims. And when we come here, we can see there is 2 more pieces of evidence. So this is a diagram to look at and answer. And then this is a short paragraph from a reading what is melanin. I just took 1 paragraph out so you don't have to read the whole thing. Answer there. And then we're going to answer the question here. You'll see again the reasoning tool. So I have linked for you world sunlight map, melanin level graph, and the world UV light map. Also take into consideration the things you learned from these two and how you can. So what you're going to do is for each of these pieces of evidence, you tell me why does it matter to the claim that you believe to be true. And remember that both of these claims you can choose. So you can say, I believe claim 2 and 3 are true. And then you can tell me your evidence to support that and how that evidence connects to your claim. The template you can use is here. Australia has a higher skin cancer rate because claim 1 or 2, claim 2 or 3 or both. My first piece of evidence is this. This supports my claim because this. Second piece, third piece, and a concluding sentence will be your argument right here.